We're here at the New London Historical Society, and joining me now is Kelli Bogan. She's on the collections committee here, and boy, do they have some nice collections here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about the preservation of some of the collections here, because you have many.
Yes, so we have a wide variety of three-dimensional materials for the most part, because we are more of a museum. So we have dresses and objects. Some are faker than others. And so preserving these items is actually really rather involved, which I don't think a lot of people realize.
I agree, right.
So, so when we get something in to the Historical Society, the first thing we have to do is determine, does it fit in our collection policy? Does it fit our time period?
Right.
You know, we're a 19th century village, so you send us a 1940s dress, well, it may be beautiful.
Right.
That
doesn't fit with you.
Exactly. So, and then we have to review the item, say we've decided that it is appropriate for our collection. We then need to determine what condition the item is in. So if there are any tears or stains or anything like that, we are going to stabilize the item. We're not going to try to fix it per se.
Right.
We want to maintain the integrity of it. We want it to look the same that it would look then, but we also want it to last for the long term. So we're going to mend any tears. If there's a large hole, we might put a patch on if we can find something else.
Just so it doesn't wear any further.
Exactly. And then not everything that we have is on display. So when it is not on display, we need to keep it protected, preserved. So we have to have a climate-controlled space, which we have in one of our buildings. We need to put it in an acid-free container or hang it in acid-free protection, so that prevents it from continuing to, or not, maybe not prevents it, but deters it from wearing with time. We're going to try to keep it as much in the condition it is in when we receive it.
That's great. Let's talk a little bit. You mentioned textiles. You also have got tools, is that right?
Yes.
That must be a nice collection.
Yes, we have a large collection of tools. Everything we have for the most part is donation based. So, and it's the same principle applies regardless of what the item is as to what you do with it.
Right, the process that you mentioned. And your crowning glory is your transportation collection.
Yes, our carriages are the cream of the crop.
They certainly are, and you have an original Concord coach, don't you?
We do.
That's really special,
Yes.
Absolutely. Now this all brings it to life. Like you've mentioned, they're all three-dimensional things, so they're things you can actually see. How does that make history fun?
I think it makes history fun because there's nothing quite like experiencing something. I think of when I was a kid and I went to Cranberry World. I don't know if you're familiar with what Cranberry World was, and we actually did the process of gathering the cranberries, and that experience, the same thing we do here when we have kids make ice cream, or we have them make cider, or they see somebody in costume and they have a conversation with that person in costume. It brings it to life in a way that you don't get if you just see it hanging on a wall or sitting in an exhibit.
It's the doing part of it.
Exactly.
And look at how you remember that cranberry experience.
Exactly, exactly. Or having, there was a great example of just recently a kid was at the schoolhouse and, no, it wasn't at the schoolhouse. They were doing something, they were churning butter, I believe, and they asked, what is this tool used for? And they thought it was like a plunger. Oh! Because, they didn't know what it was. They've never seen butter being churned.
And that's why collections are important, aren't they?
Exactly.
Particularly in our electronic age now.
Yes.
Everything is really done for us.
Yes.
Right? I mean, most children think that butter is a stick that you get from the refrigerator.
Exactly, exactly. So that actually seeing how it is done, and especially how it used to be done, is really exciting.
And how labor intensive it is, I think.
Yes.
I think there's got to be a new appreciation for how easy we really have it when you see some of these tools.
Definitely. Definitely.
And ways of doing things. Well, thank you. It's obviously a huge science behind keeping and preserving all of these items for future generations. So we thank you very much for that. And thank you for bringing us this wonderful gem of a historical society here.
Thank you.
Take care.